Well, I could say another dark log from the Diary of a Grieving Old John Weaver. I'd just say it's another log from them. And it's the 3rd of June, 2026. Time index right now is 1:39 in the morning. And I do the date and time to keep track and to help the listener, the viewer, to keep track of stuff. I came across a clip on YouTube of the series that's still on HBO. And somewhere you can still find the DVDs to this and the Blu-rays. Because watching this, as long as watching about, maybe 20 years ago when he had the West Wing on, they were telling you about our system. Newsroom was saying it through the eyes of reporters and of bureaucracy and of billionaires who own things. But also, West Wing was talking about the fictional liberal era of 8 years of war strife, dealing with a hostile Congress. But when I kept listening and watching the clips of Daniels all over again, how America currently is not the greatest, but it could be or can be. I just wish I could address this to Jeff Daniels, because his character and the story of Adam Sorkin, when he also created the West Wing, was so monumental, so important to us during those days. It was created during a time when we were coming into a time of insanity and of uncertainty. The Clinton industry era, that we didn't have a war during that time, was not that I remembered. But we had uncertainty during that time, and economic, somewhat prosperity and jobs and trading, and we didn't fear as much. But then the 21st century turned around and bit us in the ass. And a show like Newsroom came out of that fear and out of the uncertainty that we had, and still have more of it these days, that I'm not quite sure what our next steps and what could be the greatest or should be the greatest. I've heard the statistics mentioned about it about years back, a decade and a half, maybe more, and then seeing what today is all about and how things are happening in our world. The student asked, and just nearly at the end of 1 or 2 seasons, when the student came back as an intern, Jeff Daniels was going over the material with this intern. He said, "You asked me what made America great." And then he said, "You were. You are." Prior to that, he was disillusioned because he kept saying, in those times, being represented, and they were trying to get real events to be played out. Adam Sorkin and his writers were taking headlines from anything and everything and making a series of how we were dealing with our own economic insecurities and the billionaires and everything else that we were televising and broadcasting. And I kept thinking in my bed as I was, after doing my couple of videos, I just belt it out. I came across another video about a student, actually a group of students, going after this one conservative who touted to be another Trumper and thought he knew everything. And then the students, one kid, that the independent producers are having a joke on this one. They're having a field day over this one. And they're laughing at this guy who couldn't answer the questions. So it kind of reminded me of a few things here and there. I had watched television, I had watched news report, I had read different books left and right, but I don't consider myself learned or scholarly. Just I'd watched how country changed from one thing to another thing, from an ideology of one viewpoint, but another one that was not so much of an ideology or a good thing to be or is. And how would I look right now as America being the greatest? No, because the thing of it is, I kept thinking and saying it. We fight over resources, but we fight over ego all the damn time. And we have never admitted that we screwed up. We're ashamed of it. We're ashamed to hold ourselves accountable, transparent, responsible. And in November 2024 elections, and prior to that, 2016, we saw the signs, but we didn't see them. Didn't want to. No, they happened. And then we still voted this thing in 2024. And now we're dealing more and more with it and trying to take more and more out of us. And a conversation I had with a reverend on this one, maybe I should have made it public because, or maybe I shouldn't have because of trigger words in this thing. That would have flagged every damn AI out there to keep me under wraps because I was that angry. Not just at myself, but at the country, at the world in general, maybe at the universe itself. But the universe wasn't created out of fear. It was created out of random chaos. And order was put into it. But the thing is, we never understood the order. We still don't. We still don't want to. We try to write things that make us feel orderly, competent, intelligent. And sometimes I think we're coming up as blithering idiots. We think we know better, but do we know any better? We keep questioning ourselves left and right. We have journalists trying to do that left and right. They're doing opinions. They're doing stories, and we don't want to listen to them. We shut them down. We shut down the comedians. We shut down the comedians that are trying to point our flaws to us in a way that we can laugh at ourselves. But it's embarrassing. It's humiliating. We don't want the humility. We don't want the embarrassment. It might tear our ego apart. It will tear us apart. Because we fight over resources, because we are egomaniacs. We fight over ego, over territory. What makes America great? Well, not the actions of a lunatic that we allowed into office, and that spread like a damn cancer and a virus. But then again, it was already there in the first place. We never did bother to clean it up in every damn election. It was always in there. Always a crud in the corner, ready to be spewed forth. Always the mold and mildew. We're seeing it collapse an east wing. Or we're seeing ego building things up to increase its name and its value. What makes America great? We can slap cookie cutter labels on it. We gotta look at ourselves, guys. We gotta look at ourselves as an individual. What do we know? What do we hold dear to our hearts? What would make this country great for ourselves and for others? What are the values that we grew up on? What are the values we're trying to share? What are the values we're still trying to recreate? What is it we're trying to say about America? It's incomplete, I can tell you that much. It will never be completed. We have that image burned into dollar bills every time they're made. In the back of the bills. Right where Washington's face is at. And you're looking behind and you look at one of the circles and you see the pyramid incomplete. It will never be complete because we never completed it. And if we did, we're not American anymore. At least not my viewpoint. We're mutating, growing, and changing into different things we don't like. We've got into darker periods that we never like to see and ever record again or even look at. But we have to. We have to because this is the same thing of America. We're light and dark. We're not just a shining beacon. We're imperfect as hell, like everybody. We're imperfect. We have an imperfect union. But we are struggling for that, whatever perfection is, the idea and ideology that we have what perfection is supposed to be. We will forever chase it because we don't have an idea. We don't need or want it. We just want the chase. We want the growing. We want the growth. We won't know if we finalized it. But a lot of people want to see their own vision finalized, and that's it, solidified, and everything else doesn't grow. Nothing grows. Everything's solid. I'd rather have the growth. I'd rather have the change. I'd rather be as questioning on a constant basis. What makes America great? Our neurosis, I can tell you. Our egomania. Our megalomania. We want our egos growing like crazy with the limited resources we have. We're trying to say that we're making America great again. We don't know what greatness is unless we're growing. We don't know what the final shape will be. We don't want to know what the final shape is because that stops us right there. We have to continue to grow. We have to change. We have to be going through dark times. We have to go through light times. We have to go through it all. If we don't, I don't know what the hell we're going to do. You tell me, we'll both know. Like everybody else is saying, our own versions, our own interpretations, our own imaginations of what's going on these days. We're seeing our fears and phobias right before our eyes. We're seeing somebody else's paranoid delusions of what they think we should be and how we should be under their particular vision, under their particular guideline, under their viewpoint, under their period, whatever it is. What about us? What about us? A pluralistic society is supposed to be individual, but we're still the same. We're still united. We're chasing our dreams, but it all comes into one. We can't realize that. We don't even understand that. And yet, we're trying to torture ourselves and everybody else in the process. I've seen every other damn megalomania being recorded in the history. Of course, with history classes, we got material been researched for a long while, and that material keeps telling us it's not just America. The whole world is the same damn way, in their own versions, in their own places. We're all growing, trying to suffer, trying to make something, trying to identify something. We think we have something solidified, but that's about it? No. Humanity's not changed yet. Humanity's has not done. It's not done yet. There has to be hope. It has to be something we can cling on to. The turbulent waters that we're drowning in. We need those life rafts of hope. We need to keep floating in the water. And we need to rescue ourselves. But we do it together. We don't drown each other. We beat back the sharks in the water. Granted, we'll lose a few. But we're still struggling until we get rescued. Or we rescue ourselves. It has to be faith, hope, dreams. It has to be something to hold on to. And we need that flotsam. We need that life raft. We need that something. Because it's too damn easy to drown in all this anger, vitriol, all this frustration and rage, and all this ideology crap. We need something better. We need something more. We are. I keep thinking of myself a fool and idiot. Maybe I am. Or maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm not so dumb as I thought I was a long time ago. Maybe because somebody wasn't doing the right questions. I took a look at an ASVAB that I had when I was going through high school. They wanted something that they could use as a soldier, but not as an idealist or a dreamer who is still trying to learn, is still trying to grow. I would love to take an ASVAB. I'd flunk out on the damn numbers and curves and figures and stuff. But give me ideology, give me literature, give me history, give me politics, give me something of humanity. I'll tell you something. I'm not good at facts and figures sometimes. I'm not a numbers guy. I'm a humanities guy. That's who I am. That being said,